We're always sitting here waiting for it to go live too, and it's like as soon as you hit start streaming, you're there.
Yeah.
But it always makes me feel better to wait for it to come up. I think it makes everybody else feel better too. Oh, there we go. Yep, I'm already live. See, Edge is working so much faster because in Firefox that would have took forever. That would have took at least 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here. We're live. We're good.
We are.
Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
Welcome to episode
and this
11
is
of
OnlyFrets.
You're live in 3, 2, 1.
Hopefully that intro worked for you this time there, Sean.
I think it did.
Cool. Yeah. See, and what's funny,
I think it did. And
it didn't glitch on mine. I'm telling you, man, switching browsers, that's a night and day difference. Craziness.
it's good stuff.
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
you have a new guitar.
I do. One of a few, actually. I've gone a little buck wild, but I've worked hard for them. This is
You have.
a Gibson Les Paul Standard in classic white. This is the 50s, so it's got the big old fat chunky neck on it. And wholeheartedly inspired by the guitar player from my favorite band ever, Amberlin. There was a video they put up where he was at they were all at the Gibson garage, and he was like playing an SG, and he's like, maybe I've always wanted an SG, and he went back to Les Paul. He's like, no, Les Paul. And he picked up the white one, and I was like, that thing looks mint. So that's where I went on my selling frenzy of purging a lot of my guitars. I'm like, I'm going to own that white one, and that's just the way that it is, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to drop D.
Oof. It's okay.
Yeah, so it's the Standard's always been just one of my favorites.
Well, it's the Standard for a reason.
It's the Standard for a reason, exactly, and it's it's the first Les Paul Standard Gibson I've ever owned. I've owned a studio before. That was my first Gibson. There's no feeling like getting the Standard, man. So thank you,
Yeah,
Sweetwater,
dude.
for that. That's where that came from, Sweetwater.
Shout out Sweetwater.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time, so I ordered
Not
something there.
sponsored,
Not sponsored,
but maybe someday though.
Maybe. Tone's coming from the Pocket Master, though. Sonic Cake Pocket Master. Which, by the way, Sean, they did release a new firmware update for that. You should update your Pocket Master relatively soon. I think it adds MIDI control, so you can plug.
Oh,
MIDI stuff to
snap!
it.
That's cool.
Yeah, which was actually something that someone put in a comment on the video that I did about it, where it was they were like, "Oh, if it had MIDI control, I'd be right up there." And I'm like, "Well, guess what, buddy? Steve Gunner."
Guess what?
Sup, guys? Yeah. Steve Gunner's here. Sup, guys? Sup, Steve? And then we got Zuhair Reza. Who's that? Apologies if I said that wrong. While the Les Paul looks cool, it does. Yeah, it looks great on camera. But enough about me. Sean, what do you got, bud? Beautiful stuff. Robert Baker. Yeah.
None other than one on a members only giveaway, which was pretty awesome. It has a screaming, noiseless pickup situation through here, and if I'm in the, it's got a push pull down here.
Sweet.
Where I can make my bridge pickup a humbucker with the neck. And then it kind of changes the tone there. And it's really fun to play. I get fret sprout where I live all the time, but the frets are nice and ball end rounded. And the fret board is like nice and rolled. So it never like cuts my fingers, but I definitely need to knock them back every spring and fall because it's just so dry where I live.
Right.
But It's just a sweet little Nashville Tilly, and I'm very lucky to have it for sure.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah, buddy.
let me do something really quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do what you got to
I
do.
actually
No,
forgot
you're okay.
one pivotal thing for today. Hold please.
I got nobody on my stream. Where are my bros?
I was making sure we weren't going to be interrupted by life, which
Oh yeah,
it still did.
got to do
anyway,
that.
but yeah, there we go. So now we're back. We're ready to roll, I think. I was just going to say,
Speaking
we
of-
started somewhat on time. But anyway, speaking of what?
We did. Speaking of being interrupted by life, Jonathan, YouTubing can be very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it can, as has been shown numerous times on this live stream.
On this very stream.
This very stream, yeah. No, it is very difficult. No matter what you're doing, whether you're recording and pre-planning, or you're live streaming and just kind of doing it on the fly, it is ever changing, and very seldom does everything go right the first time. Like last week, notably, we thought everything sounded cool, everything was good and crispy and golden, and then audio issues. This time on Sean's end, not mine. I had mine stuff sorted out. But good old Sean having to.
Yeah, we've had them. Both of us have had our fair share at this point of issues trying to live stream. And I think this week we've got to go and have him let us know.
Funny, yeah, he says my audio's low compared to yours and you're cracking in and out. At least they can hear you, but I did up my volume a little bit, so you can feel free to let us know if that sounds better.
Man, I wonder if that
the Senado, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Because I've got the mic volume up a little bit, I think, like basically all the way. I've got 18 dB gain on there, so I mean, I think I've got 5 more dB if I really need to go up, but I don't know. I mean, to me, sounds good, but that's anyway. We're not gonna spend another 30 minutes talking about. Can you hear me now? We're not a Verizon commercial. Remember those? So yeah. YouTube is it's proving its point right now. It can be crazy. It can never go right. It can always go right. Doesn't matter. I've written out scripts before and I've had, my camera die or my camera overheat or my mic go out and I'm just like, ugh. Or in the editing process after you filmed 2 days worth of videos and then it's like, no, you didn't. Yeah.
No, you didn't. And that actually happened to me. Quick what's up to Searching for Tone and Jimmy Biter over here on my channel. Boys, let me know if everything's sounding crispy to you. We've been having audio issues. Public bars together, of which I cannot air because my while recording with another YouTuber, and but so mine and Keith's the Friday, hopefully next after, and then and the conversation easily. So what you and I do is really easy for us to apologize. I don't know if he caught that, but I feel dumb. don't sometimes.
And if,
Steve Gunner jumped over and
huh, that is strange. I don't know. It could be. It could be because of that. That's the only thing that I've changed. But I guess we're gonna roll with it, for
Right.
now, and then maybe I'll change my setup. See, in the same.
But you sound really good over
I
here.
will say, on my end, Zuhair said, "I'm dying of laughter now. Sean's audio fine sometimes, other times silent or crackly and going in and out like a monster." And then I had a good laugh. So, some entertainment value. Yeah, some entertainment value there. I dig it. But yeah, YouTube again.
This episode.
Yeah. If we need to. Whatever. We're working out the stuff. Well, maybe by 111 episodes we'll have it figured out. Who knows? Pretty much, yeah. I've also noticed too on my on YouTube too, we're way behind latency wise on my channel. Like we're talking like minutes behind. It seems like. Yeah. I
Really?
just another fun thing. Which is
Xanadu.
I don't know if it's that thing or not because it's just an audio card. Really? And it's only for me. I don't know. It could be. It's, you know. Anyway.
We'll have to try it without it.
Yeah, no,
next time.
I'm gonna try it without it next time. I'll use my. It's just so convenient because my computer is right here. I don't have to be like, what does that say? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. If I can get my iPad working, then.
I wonder if there's like some type of like buffer situation happening between the two cards or whatever.
I have no idea.
That
Anyway. Yeah. So, searching for tone says, just real quick, sounds good on both channels. I'm on my phone, but he says Sean's audio is crackling on my channel. Just to note that. Now we're moving on. We're really moving on. So yeah, we're past that. It is what it is.
we're past
So
that.
yeah, so Trey Xavier over at what is formerly known as Gear Gods. We've talked about him previously. If you don't know who he is, awesome dude, awesome channel. His whole thing is songwriting. And I mentioned before that he does kind of a unique thing where he'll roll dice and, pick random stuff and write songs out of it. It's kind of like a challenge for him and for his audience and everything. Well, he does the thing, I think it's once a month where he does a contest. Somebody will sponsor. It's like, we'll give away this if you can write a song and he'll pick a winner, blah, 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 blah. So I'll roll dice. He'll choose a drum track and say, y'all write a song to this. But he wants a song. He doesn't want riff salad. His term, not mine. Where you just drum, bass, and just riff over it. He wants a lead line or vocals. Okay? Pivotal part of the story. So, with the innovation of good old artificial intelligence, artificial is what I was going to say. We'll roll with it. AI, or if you're Linda McMahon, A1, computers are writing songs now. And that's not good for songwriting contests like that because you're supposed to be writing the songs here. And he got really, really upset at that. Probably because it was his birthday and he wasn't feeling good. And that was at the end of an 8-hour stream almost where he almost awarded the prize to this guy, but he had to essentially beat the information out of him. And he finally admitted that he took the drum track and he used, I think, ChatGPT for the lyrics and then run it through, what's that, Suno? I think that's what that is, where you can get, where people do all the AI-generated songs, and he got the vocals from it and everything, and essentially crafted a fake song. And it just got me thinking, is and this has kind of been a topic going on for a while, is songwriting just dead? Is there even, a human element in it anymore? Because my whole thing with the AI thing is if you use it as a jumping off point to get some kind of inspiration, that's still a gray area. But I mean, I'm talking if you use ChatGPT to say, write me some guitar tab, and it wrote you a line of tab, and then you kind of built off of that, fine, whatever. You took one line of something, and that's kind of it. But if it wrote you an entire song, and you're like, oh, I wrote a song. No, you didn't. You typed in a prompt in ChatGPT, and it wrote you a song, and you transcribed it. Now, is transcription, again, a gray area, but to enter a contest and you're screwing over other people that probably did it the right way, which, again, maybe in songwriting there's not a right way, but if you're not writing the song, what did he say? What was the good point he said? Oh, yeah, he said he didn't get Usain Bolt to go and run, a race for him, and then when he wins, get up on the pedestal, knock him down, and say, the trophy's mine because I won, but I just had him do it. It's the same kind of, you're taking credit for someone else's work, in this case, AI. And then he's like, it's tricky because you can't copyright AI stuff, so it's just muddy waters kind of all around. And I don't know, it really kind of threw me for a loop too, because I've been wanting to get into, like, I've been saying for years I want to record an album. Like, I want to sit down, actually write a couple of songs, mix them well, process them well, or produce them well, all that kind of stuff. But I either don't have the time, or things like this happen and I just lose my inspiration, because I'm like, well, if people are just creating AI songs, what's the point of me wasting, 3, 4, 5 months of my time or whatever writing songs and producing them and all this other stuff? What's the point? No one's going to listen to it. Or they're going to sit and do that whole, well, that sounds like AI, because it's like, I just don't know if I want to deal with that. I really don't. If that makes any kind of sense.
Man, no, it does. The first thing they should have done. Yeah. Those things are, to me, they're just, those are for humans. That's like what we do that no other species in the universe does, or the known universe at least. And that is like that's our connection to each other and the world around us, and how we emote what we see, and how we emote, like, how we take in emotions from others who are putting that out. Like, it's a point of connection for humanity. And I have a pretty huge problem with it. But I think I'm like you. We've got a couple of comments. AI has taken over stealth guitar, and then Jimmy Biter says AI taking humanity out of music since 2023. Also, Keith wants to know about this 2021 Nashville Player Plus Telecaster, which is really, really sweet and has noiseless pickups. It makes people lazy and complacent, Jimmy says, and I kind of agree. However, like my friend Ubi on YouTube uses AI for the vocals and lyrics, because he writes the lyrics, but he doesn't sing. And so he's going through that now, where he kind of goes back and forth against himself a little bit, where he's like, I wish I had just found a singer that would just sing the lyrics, but he hasn't found anybody yet with the chops, so he uses AI to sing the lyrics that he writes. I understand where he's coming from. I would rather like sing like as good as I can do, but I also have experience as the lead singer of 3 bands. I've sang my whole life, so I'm coming from a different perspective. So I can understand people using it in certain spaces. Oh yeah, what about the octopus that makes garden art? That's not AI. That's just incredible, Keith. That's what that is. But I don't like it. I will say that you don't have to use, auto-tune was bad enough, right, Jimmy? You don't have to use AI. We have BandLab. So for everybody who doesn't know, Ubi and I and a guy named Yussi, who sometimes shows up on our podcast and some other musicians that have started like a band on BandLab. They call it a band, and you invite and what we're doing is we're using drum loops, which again is AI adjacent. That's a different human recording drum loops and then, selling it. Would I rather have like a drummer over here? Yeah, totally. But that's not always possible. So you kind of use the tools that you have. But we're creating music together. So you don't have to use all AI to do this. You can get together with musicians, use a service like BandLab, which has a publishing aspect, a social media aspect, a recording interface in it. It's by Cakewalk, and you can record music with your friends. We did like a whole song, like Ubi posted like the intro, and then Yussi added a bunch of stuff, and then I added some stuff, and we extended the song, and like you can cut and snip and paste and like do all that. It's really fun. It's like literally the most fun. And everybody can edit the song. You get updates when somebody adds something to it. It's really, really fun. And you could do that instead of just using AI to create a whole ass track for a competition.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
I don't know. I mean, it's real sketchy. That's something that you just have to be on the lookout for. I mean, good on dang it, his name. Trey for snuffing that out.
Yeah, no, and that's what a lot of people are praising him for, is like, good on you for calling him out, because that's, and it's not like he committed a crime or nothing, but it's just like, you're trying to essentially steal something from somebody else because you went the lazy route and we're just like, I'm going to cash in on getting this expensive piece of gear or whatever it was he was giving away. But no, it's and that's the
intentions matter.
Exactly.
Intentions matter a lot.
So going on to the auto-tune point, like, I have a great example. So if you listen to, we're gonna go back to Amberlin because they're in a unique situation. So they've been around for a while. Recently, their lead singer kind of took a hiatus from the band. He still tours with them and stuff, and like shows up special guest appearances, which lucky them. But they have Maddie Mullins from Memphis Mayfire singing for him. Now, if you are a Memphis Mayfire fan, which I dabble in him from time to time, he is very heavy on the auto-tune. Not that he can't sing. I don't know why he uses auto-tune, because he can sing. The dude's got pipes. I mean, he can sing.
Yeah.
But
just like T-Pain.
Exactly.
Have you heard T-Pain sing for real?
Yes.
It's so good.
But the thing
is, so good. It's like they just like how auto-tune sounds.
Exactly. So he's doing it for the effect. T-Pain does it for the effect, because he even says himself, like, you can't sing on key. You have to purposely like sing flat or sing sharp and like sing like a mess to get it to do the auto-tune thing. But if you're using it for pitch correction, again, not that it's the worst thing in the world, but it's just one of those things, like Glenn Fricker says, you're taking the human element out of it. Because if you go and listen to something like Blueprints for the Black Market, that's the first Amberlin album. It's so raw. It's so just perfect in its flaws. He doesn't hit the note all the time. He's hitting the notes, but it's like, you can tell like he's,
you can feel it.
Human. Yeah, he's feeling it. But with Maddie Mullins, they re-recorded another album, Never Take Friendship Personal. They re-recorded that whole album. And while it's good, that rawness is kind of missing from it. Not that it's like every album that's produced is like, oh, this is first take and whatever, but because there are going to be edits and stuff in it, but it's like you can tell the auto-tune is just evident there. It's one of those things. It's like he's using it for the pitch correction, but also for the effect at the same time, like just a slight hair. But it's just it's too perfect. People editing drums, like where you say you use drum loops. If you're snapping it to the grid, like you're already goofing, right? Like that's leave it a little off. It's a little off time. It's okay. It makes it, even if it's like a drum sample. That's like the number one thing to making drum samples sound more human is put them off the grid a little bit. You know, it adds that
Well,
human element to it. Do the
yeah,
velocity,
and
mess
like,
you know, mess
you
with
look
it.
at something like the Mona Lisa, the shadowing is off, like the shading is, you look
Right,
at some of these ancient works of art and it's like they're clearly not perfect, but like a
but that's what
human
makes
did
them
it,
perfect,
right?
right? It's
And
the
it's
perfection
so
and the
good
imperfections.
anyway.
Exactly. It's been, I
Yeah.
mean, hell, it's been stolen once, I think. Clearly, someone has value in it, and it's worth. You know, it's in like one of the most popular museums in the world for a reason. You know, and
Right.
art is subjective. There's some people that might like the auto tune stuff. I don't know. There's some people that like, and it's really prevalent in like modern metal. You know, like modern metalcore
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff with all
Yeah.
the editing and stuff like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's the same kind of thing with the AI. You're taking all of the human element out of it. You know, and it's like you wonder why people still regard bands like, you know, Led Zeppelin and stuff as like, you know, these pioneer because they didn't have all that crap back in the day. They went in,
They just played
they
it.
just played it, and if they flubbed the note, okay. Like one of my favorite stories is, well, there's two of them. With Aerosmith is one of them. So if you listen to Sweet Emotion, and you got all that stuff going on in the beginning, he says that when you hear like the like that kind of, that's a
Yeah.
sugar packet. They said they needed something else. So anytime a sugar
Really?
packet, he's just like to the microphone, yeah. And then you hear the little thing in the background that's like the kind of thing like that. If you listen, there's a part in there where you hear like a like that. That's him breaking that thing, like the little jaw harp or whatever it's called. You know, the little Australian
Oh.
type thing. Yeah, and they kept it in the thing. You can barely hear it, but he pointed it out. He was on Howard Stern and he did that.
Mhm.
So there's like that, you know, mistakes. Now the other human thing that I like, Glenn Fricker actually told this story with Iron Maiden when they were recording Number of the Beast. You know, you have the beginning part that's like the build up to him doing the, you know, that whole thing. They did that take, the beginning take, so many times because the engineer was like, it's just something off about it. To the point where he's in there throwing stuff around the studio, like pissed off, like I want to do the scream, like let me get to the scream. So they record it, and it's like, okay, it's a good take. Go ahead and do the scream. So that
Yeah.
scream that you hear in the final recording is all of that pent up like wanting to do it, and it just adds that extra layer of like emotion to it.
Right.
But do you think
Right.
if he went into the studio with all this modern stuff and was like, okay, 2-3 takes, we can edit it, whatever, it would the human element of it would be gone completely. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Not to sound like a boomer or anything. I'm really not trying to, but
Hey, we're all a little bit of a boomer. A couple of good points brought up over here in my chat. Keith, I'll let you go. That is
Bob Dylan.
100% true. There are numerous Bob Dylan, Tom Petty,
Yeah.
even like Joe Passionate, or like Jimmy, bringing it up from last week. Probably not the best. I mean, maybe the best guitar player at the time, but not like George Harrison lived at the same time that Jimi Hendrix did, and George Harrison was a phenomenal guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Jimmy played with so much feel that everybody loved it. Well, not everybody, but most people loved it at the time. And then Jade Guitar says, makes me think about serial music, a mathematical form of music making. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what you mean, Jade, but I imagine we're talking like bleeps and bloops there. And then Stealth says a lot of music today has become too robotic, and I would tend to agree with that for sure. So I think, you turn on the radio and everything's, I mean, you could just bleed one song into the next. Even country, Chat GPT for lyrics is not new, by the way. All of the writers in Nashville would sit around together, and then they have Chat GPT open on their phones. And this was early days Chat GPT, and they were using it for coming up with lyrics, and that's why everything sounds the same, because Chat GPT is taking an amalgamation of the human experience, its robotic sort of what it thinks the human experience is, and then answering your prompt with what it thinks being a human is like, and then spitting out lyrics based on that. And it's just not, there's no internal perspective. Have you ever written a song? Okay, so for example, sometimes I would find that it was hard to write a song from my perspective. So what I would do is pretend that I was somebody else. I wrote a song called Spiteful back in the day for my first band, and that song is told from one of my best friends' point of views about a girl he was dating at the time. So it has not the song has zero to do with me, but I was him in writing the song, and I was talking about this like really toxic relationship and how that went through. And so like somebody like my wife would hear that song and be like, who were you dating? And it's like, nobody. That was my buddy's girlfriend at the time, and that whole song was about their back and forth, not mine. And that is a really fun thing to do, because you basically have no skin in the game at that point. You can write whatever you want without feeling like you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, because it's not you and a person you're involved with or whatever. So just, there are lots of ways like what Trey is doing to spice up how to write a song. And all of those can be done using your own brain and heart and soul. And you don't need to involve AI in it at all. I don't think. I would never want to do that,
I mean, yeah, it's you kind of hate to say, well, what did people do back in the day when they hit writer's block or whatever? It's like, yeah, they didn't have, again, the advantages we have nowadays, but maybe take the inspiration from what they did. Go take a walk somewhere or something. I mean,
yeah,
take
a time out.
Go walk in the park and hear a bird tweeting in the tree and be like, that's a cool rhythm, or I mean, it's something like that,
Go live your life too.
Live your life.
Like the what they say, you get 20 years to write your first album, and then you get like 2 years to write your next one. And that's true if you're a famous musician. But for the rest of us, it's like, I mean, you could write something every day if you want. I don't, but I have multiple experiences every single day that make me happy or mad or sad or whatever. I think about things all the time. We all think all the time, and you can just write your thoughts down and then eventually, just build on that. But it is a game. It's like, you ever read those Orson Scott Card books, Jonathan, the Ender's series? They made a movie about it called Ender's Game, and that was the name of his famous book. But they're like these sci-fi books.
If I'm having to think about it this hard, probably not.
I'm a super nerd, but anyway, they're really good books. And in it, there's a kid named Ender, and there's this video game that they give them while they're on this spaceship training to become like warfighting pilots or whatever, right? And they give them this video game to play, but really the government, the powers that be, are like watching them play the game and like tracking their thought process and stuff. Right. But the game is like, you start off as like a mouse. So think like Odell Lake from like the old PCs back. Oh, I'm older than you. It's like, you start off as like a little fish, and then you eat a fish and you become a bigger fish, kind of a thing. Anyway, so like the whole game is like, you can kind of go, it's open world. You can kind of go anywhere, do anything. Weird stuff happens. Like how you react to that weird stuff is how they, all this. But that's like, if you game with it for a minute and look and write the next line and then see what it takes to look
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zoo Hair in my chat over here, he's had a couple things. He said, really interesting idea to write a song from someone else's point of view. So I think that's also an interesting idea. And then he says, how do you come up with the chord progression of an everyday idea you suddenly want to make a song out of? See, there's not really a hard and fast answer to that because to me, I'm always, I'm always, I don't write lyrics, and if I was going to, I probably wouldn't write the lyrics first because then everybody's songwriting process is kind of different. But like for me,
Yeah.
I've been messing around more with like a jazzy kind of feel. So if I'm like, not that coat, not that, something like that. Anyway, little chords like that, and I've tried to come up with progression that was kind of okay. That note sounds good. That sounds good. There's your chord progression, right? It's kind of like a descending thing, but I mean, a little bit of flair to it. Suddenly you have something kind of starting to build. And if you don't like that, I mean, like that's something else I've messed with, right?
Right.
Yeah, mess with the rhythm. That's what I was going to say. Mess with the rhythm of it. Add notes to chords. So like I was doing there, I was doing like a little hammer-on action there. Learn a little bit of theory. You know, honestly, I know that's not really the best answer to give, but if you learn a little bit of theory and you kind of get the idea of how some of the chords work, or like a mode or a scale or whatever, you can kind of build off of that. But I've had things where it's like I literally will be kind of whatever, and I'll be like, I wonder why I had put my hands here, you know. Not that that was a chord or anything, but just something like that, you know. And you would yeah. Yeah. Right.
When I'm struck.
Thank you.
Well, maybe I can. Let me get out of the high gain area. So I have a song that I've been working on that has like similar, you know, some nice jazzy chords, and I'm going like in and out of like major and minor, trying to keep it fun, you know, like and then
switch keys, switch,
and then mixing my affinity for riffs in there where I can. So I think it's just like we were talking about with lyric writing. It's very similar. You're playing a game with your own brain.
Yeah.
You think about it like that, like doing a puzzle, or you know, trying to like dig yourself, like to find out if there's a natural tunnel underground somewhere or whatever. Like you're trying to find a path that is currently unknown to you, but does definitely exist. So when you're trying to write, and it looks like Jonathan's switching the battery on his camera there, but
I tried to do it before, but it still died. So.
All good, brother.
Go back.
But yeah, definitely like think about it like a brain game. Like that's what I like to do. And you know, talking about that, like writing from somebody's perspective, totally born out of writer's block. Like I couldn't write anything about me. I couldn't, my brain wouldn't allow me to like write that song about my own situation. So I had to put myself in somebody else's shoes, which, you know, is also kind of like a testament to humanity. Like, we have something that nobody else does, which is empathy, and we can use that empathy to write a song from somebody else's perspective with care and or with any human emotion. And I just, yeah, man, chord writing is the same to me. It's like, find a bass, find a, find a key. You really, right now, almost everything I'm writing is coming out of A, because I've been taking these Robert Baker, some really in A right now, but I'm trying to mix it up. Like,
Ooh. Best of luck. Yeah.
clip of something you wrote,
Mm-hmm.
because it was putting, that was
Oh, yeah, what was in 6/4. Yeah.
yes, shit, but it definitely made me different.
Right, yeah. Zuhair, again, if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm just phonetically. He said, good thing with the guitar, too. He said the answer that we gave, hell, by the way.
Yeah.
He said, good thing with the guitar is that if you play a note or chord that really, really doesn't work, you'll know. One of my favorite examples is this one. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then if you're ever stuck too, start on some distortion and just. It's worked for Metallica for 40 years. For real. But yeah, he said otherwise don't be afraid to try weird ideas. Absolutely step outside your comfort zone. Mess around with effects, honestly. Get something like the Pocket Master. It's affordable. It's got a ton of effects built into it. Get some cheap pedals and just mess around with them. I didn't really use effects other than like reverb and delay. But, when you kind of discover chorus, it's like good on cleans. Like, it's kind of overdone, but I mean, it sounds good and it works. Try that. If you're miking up a cabinet, don't just do a vintage 30 speaker and an SM57. Try a different mic. You never know. Or try a different impulse response.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
It definitely, like, there's a lot of plug straight into the amp and go purist, which is like cool. For create, you don't need anything to like help trigger a new emotion or a new feeling or new vibe. Absolutely have out. And I have to write a lick, and it came out, half Led Zeppelin-y sounding type of, that pedals can absolutely by concrete weird chord that fits the song right, and real in the chat, back from neck surgery.
Good to see you. Glad to hear everything's going well. Let's see. Zuhair.
Yeah.
He is very active in here. He said he has a Gibson Flying V like your Flying V back there, but yours is not a Gibson, right? Yours is a build, right?
Right. Yeah, that nearly is Gibson, but
it works.
The
you go, because you made it. He also said, would a reverb or delay pedal be different from my Boss Katana's built-in effect? That's actually a really good question, and I have my own thoughts and opinions on this. I wholeheartedly believe that the pedal market is extremely saturated with just a bunch of clones. So, long story short is, especially in the Katana, I would hope that those effects are going to be based off of the Boss pedals that are already on the market. So you're probably already getting something that you would get pretty similar to what Boss offers built in already, if that makes sense. Now, I've done a lot of pedals on my channel. Not a lot, but enough to know that some of them are really just clones of the other. And especially with reverb and delay, man, there's just... I mean, what can you really do with reverb other than do like spring, room, hall, plate? Like, that's it. Like, you know, it's kind of been done, yeah. Bare Naked Ladies said it best. Yeah, or like a shimmer reverb. Mm. Right.
Like, get it. But I'm like, I just did this more like a I know Dumble amp in a box kind of a thing. Like, it has two types of overdrive. And if you jack up, you know, these bottom knobs here, you get close to the middle end of these top knobs, so you can kind of bleed into the high gain as you go. I really like this pedal, but it's, you know, I have freaking the Nauticlon, the Nautodumble, the overdrive preamp, a tube screamer, and my overdrive. It's just like, oh, and the fret from Donner, Audio, GX one under offer. It's like, at some point you're gonna lost that effect. Then you can stop and you can chase something else, a different tone, you know, and use that to
Yeah.
want to
Yeah, he says cool V. Yeah.
he was interested. So, yeah, man. Thanks.
But yeah, no, it's to me with effects, it's just you get more option paralysis than anything else too. You know, you hear that term thrown around, especially it's like with multi effects pedals, which I think multi effects pedals are kind of the way to go nowadays. As somebody that owns quite a few of them, but you know, it really just depends on, like, I mean, you've got the Pocket Master. I wouldn't necessarily say you could go and gig with that, but I mean, for travel, you probably could in like a smaller
you can
something or other. Who knows? Who knows? The world's crazy. People might take one of these on tour and do that.
I know. Which he should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix PRS amp model in here right now.
Nice.
Pedals with the modelers, but the effect options in all that fun stuff. So definitely gift
Sounds like
from
a good guy. Lucas Steinsland in my comments over here says, play something. What would you like to hear? Ugh, that was terrible. I always mess up that bend too. Always. There we go, yeah.
over at
We
Electric.
got, trying to make sure I got all my noise off there. So I did a bunch of Donner stuff. Did another little like desktop amp kind of thing. It's kind of cool. That should be coming out in a little bit. I had to move. It was going to be next week. Okay, so next week is going to be a decently busy week for videos, just because I have a bunch of sponsored stuff that I'm trying to get out at once. And it was going to be Sunday to Saturday, just a video every day. But things changed. You know, I had some people be like, "Don't release it yet," or blah 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 blah. So there's that. But there'll be that amp coming out. There is this guy. It's another Donner guitar, another DST. It's the DST 100. Yeah, HSS type deal. I thought it was white, but as you can see, it's like a yellow kind of thing. Kind of cool. Really nice for the price and everything. It was a whole kit. Obviously, I'll be talking about the Les Pauls I got and my SG Junior. I'm actually working on a video about that because I have a very interesting point to make with the SG Junior specifically, which I'll let the thumbnail and the title speak for that, and you guys can whatever. This should be coming out relatively soon. But what else? I'm supposed to have some Joyo stuff coming, but I've not heard back. They've kind of ghosted me on that. They said we're shipping it out, and I've not heard anything back from them. So we'll see. Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you just gotta wait.
And yeah. Zuhar says, dude, I got the DST 200 in black. So happy. Don't see any problems. Feel like a high-end Fender Strat. Yeah, they really are super duper impressive. The 200, that was the one that comes in pink too. I think it's the one I had that was in pink. I've pretty much had all the DSTs on my channel. I don't know why they just sent me the 100 now, but I digress. And really the only one that I had some type of issue with was the DST 80, which was like their real low end. It's probably the one below the one I just showed you. But yeah, that one was,
yeah, I
it had
remember that.
a lot of potential to be good, but that rusted claw on the back, oh my god, that took me out. Yeah, I was like, no freaking way. And then he said he sent Donner thanks on eBay. You should thank them. They're a great company. And now I will say this.
Yeah.
And I've not called them out publicly on it, but I guess I am about to now. Apparently their customer service is not the greatest. So if you have any technical issues, they're not like the best to get back to people, because I see so many people be like, oh yeah, it's almost great, but they sent me like one that had fret sprouts. I tried to reach out to them and see if I could and they just, it's almost like they take your money and run. Now again, is that to say that you shouldn't interact with them? I mean, I have no dog in the race. I can say whatever I want about them, but I personally have not had any issues with any of their products that they've sent, not because they're sending me the best, like some people would swear, but I just haven't needed. Exactly, yeah. But I'm in a different situation because I'm talking to somebody that's, you know, I have a direct line. I'm not just going straight to like customer service at Donner.com or whatever it is. You know, it's so. Oh, that's another thing from Donner. Speaking of which, I really liked this. Let me grab it. Hold on. Ugh. Sorry about that. It's this thing. So it's another multi-effects pedal, but it's for acoustic guitars. So it's called the APL, the Acoustic
Oh,
Preamp
cool.
Looper. It's got like 6 IR bodies in it, so you can change between, I think it's like Martins, Taylors, Gibsons, things like that. Built-in effects on it, and it's really cool. It's got a looper built into it, and I was really, really impressed with that.
Like, that's like
Yes, yes. I used to. Yeah, yeah. What was his one hit or his big hit? Was like I hear it in my head. You might be thinking, yeah, you might have another one. I'll have to look it up now.
I'm thinking of the song. Can't remember.
I need to look up that song now. I have it in my head. I used to sing it all the time and stuff. Collide. That's the song I was thinking of. You and I collide. Yeah.
Yeah,
God, yeah.
that he was putting out for every frat party.
Yeah.
No AI
No,
for that
I did not
guy.
get it. Exactly.
He was.
Yeah. But other than that, that's kind of really what I got. I got another wireless system coming up. 2 wireless systems
Nice.
actually coming up. Like the XLR ones, not like guitar. I'm a little over those, but anyway.
And probably.
Yeah. I know. But anyway.
Yeah. So over here at SPG, we're doing. I'm gonna re-record my Keith for song. It's called Song Hat, Yuka Hat, and then we'll send you the else backing to it. It's like a platform,
There you go.
you know, humanizing
Might need to send me that link.
music.
I'll have to jump on that. Yeah. Really? That's cool.
So I've been,
Why is he here? Sorry, he was leaving.
watching, and he can kind of
Yeah.
uh, like how minus the like he kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram, like Nick Perry and Super Danger for doing those with me to kind of give me a little bit of a springboard, if you will, to get other personalities interested.
Yeah.
You know, there when you send a link to a video that you've done with somebody like that, it definitely helps other people want to do it. So that's really exciting. I'm excited to just talk to him again. The humanizing thing, right, is like huge for me. I just want to talk to people on YouTube, like YouTubers and musicians that I really like, and this kind of day and age allows that to actually happen.
Oh, yeah.
So we got that coming up, the music backing track thing, and then I think just doing OnlyFrets every week with you and my live streams on Friday nights, and that's kind of it for me for now in the works. There's a potential sponsored video coming up, like fully. Like I have my Firebird build, the laundry room's almost done. So the Firebird build will happen over the summer, but there's a potential sponsored video coming up that I don't want to drop too much info about, but I'm really excited about it.
Does it tie
Super cool
into the
company.
Firebird build at all?
It does not, although it may, because my contact happens to be like a builder, so I'm hoping I may actually get him on screen and record that while I do some electronic stuff on the
That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be
Firebird.
cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, have him help me out, help a brother out with that, and give me a little wiring lesson or something, which would
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah, neato.
Um,
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Endless possibilities, man.
Yeah.
Amanda Coombs, Randy Tritt, Keith, Jimmy, Mark, Stealth. Hope your daughter is okay. That sucks. Jade Guitars. Go watch Searching for Tones. Really great. And
Yeah. And thank you, Searching for Tone, for jumping over here. And Steve Gunner and especially Zuhair for being super duper active in there. And Lucas, I don't think he's in there anymore, but hopefully we played you something. It wasn't anything good, but it was something. We're
Yeah.
just guitars. We need to really learn to play more.
Right.
But, yeah, so I think that's going to wrap it up. Looks like it's 3:05. I think we started about 5 minutes late, so that's good timing on our end. We did it. All right, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get back to it, and we'll catch you guys next Thursday on both of our channels here, OnlyFrets. Thursday at 2 p.m.
11 a.m.
2 p.m.
PST, 2 p.m.
I was
EST.
going backwards. I was going to say yours first, but I can't do that. I got to do my time zone first. But anyway, everybody take care. Y'all have a good one, and hope everybody's lives kind of gets sorted out. It seems like everybody's kind of got their own stuff going on. Best wishes to you.
Yeah. Everybody have a great weekend.